guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we will be doing a book haul. As the title suggests, we already went to Barnes & Noble. Okay people, we already went to Barnes & Noble and now we are hauling it. The reason we have this haul though is literally entirely because of gift cards. Okay, entirely because of gift cards. I think the last, not that it matters, but there you go. I used up all of my birthday gift cards in this haul. We had to do it. It's fall, which means books, but really all the time means books. I don't know. I've honestly been in the mood a lot lately for like non-fiction. A lot of the books that I got recently have been non-fiction. I don't know why, I've just been in that mood, so we're going with it. We also have a few classics to talk about today, so I'm really excited. There's quite a few books, and yeah.
She goes her own way, like I don't give a damn girl. And my God, she owns it. So many heartbreaks, goes back to 2014. And I think that she knows it. And if you've seen her, I know that you would believe it. Cause I know that you'd want her to. Yeah, I do. Everyone's taking their shot, but missing out on the cut. I think she knows that. She drives them crazy when she's looking like that. The way she's moving makes them want it so bad. Gets the attention that we wish that we had. Yeah, it's almost cruel, cause I want her to. Oh yeah, I'm running in circles just to make her react. My heart is racing, yeah, I want her so bad. I wanna kiss her, but I know for a fact that she's way too cool. But I want her to. Oh yeah, ripped skinny jeans and tattoos on both her ankles. 21 pilot t-shirt, got some stuff. Goddamn, she's so fly. Knows how to write a good song, at least better than this. Cause if you've seen her, I know that you would believe it. Cause I know that you'd want her to. Yeah, I do. Come on and give it a shot, but you'll be missing the cut. I think she knows that. She drives them crazy when she's looking like that. The way she's moving makes them want it so bad. Gets the attention that we wish that we had. Yeah, it's almost cruel, cause I want her to.
First book that I'll show you today is the book that I've already started, and that is The Gulag Archipelago by Alexander Solzhenitsyn, which this is the abridged edition. Because let me tell you, I'm reading the abridged edition. I'm just excited. I'm happy I'm here to begin with. I don't need the whole shebang bang, you know what I'm saying? So I'm already about 200 pages into this. It's about 470 something pages, I think. I feel like I'm learning a lot. The reason that I wanted to read this, well, I have two different reasons. First off, I really want to read The Master and Margarita, and I feel like it just might be nice to have more historical, factual context for that book by reading this first. I also really want to learn about Russia in that time period, Soviet Union Russia, Stalin around World War II, the gulags. I hadn't previously known much about it other than the fact that it existed and they existed, but I feel like I've been having a fun time the last week or so. I've been reading this over the course of a week. It's been really interesting. I can't believe the amount of examples we have in history of people just being absolutely horribly treated. There are just so many examples in history and it's really disgusting. I guess it's interesting to learn about. It really makes you check your privilege, honestly. So there's that. That's the Gulag Archipelago. This is not part of the haul, but I also really want to read the Communist Manifesto. I feel like this is, I'm like learning. This is the theme currently in my reading life. But yeah, this is not part of the haul. I already own this. So not nonfiction. We have Flowers for Algernon by Daniel Keyes. I've heard of Flowers for Algernon for a long time. It's something that I've always wanted to get to. I hadn't owned it. I decided to pick it up. For some reason, it's giving me fall vibes because it's giving me like academia vibes, right? I do not like dark academia, and it's not giving me dark academia vibes, but it's giving me academia vibes. So we have, from what I understand, Algernon, who is, oh no, Algernon's the mouse. He's the mouse. Charlie Gordon. And he is going on an unprecedented journey, okay? So in the beginning, he's not an intelligent dude, and he undergoes this experiment, or he's the subject of this experiment where they like give him intelligence, and it's about how his life changes. Sounds absolutely fantastic. I feel like I'm gonna be really sad reading this. Yeah, I'm excited about it. Hopefully I can get to that. Hopefully I read that this fall. That's always the plan, but you know, there's always so many books on the TBR, you never really know. The next book we have is The Handmaid's Tale by Margaret Atwood, and similar to Flowers for Algernon, this is a book I haven't read yet. I always knew that I at some point wanted to read it. I did see the first season of the TV show. I didn't love it. I thought it was like an objectively good TV show, but like I wasn't super into it. Kind of freaked me out, if I'm being honest. And I bet this book will freak me out as well. But I think I'm really sensitive to lighting in TV shows and movies. Like if the lighting is really dingy and dark, I don't want to be there for it. Like I'm just not interested tonally. That was a side note, but anywho, I'm sure we all know what this is. We all know what this is about. And again, it gives me fall vibes, okay? Fall vibes. We have another classic. Here we have Dostoevsky's House of the Dead. I don't think I knew this existed. I still have the Brothers Karamazov on my TBR, which hopefully I'll read, I don't know, eventually. Maybe next year. I'll put it on my like TBR for next year. I still have that on my shelves, haven't read it yet. I know I want to get to that. But this is about Dostoevsky, who in 1850 was sent to a remote Siberian prison camp. But I do think this is a fictionalized account of, well, as it says on the back, it's a fictionalized account of his soul-destroying incarceration through the cool, detached tones of his narrator, Alexander Petrovich Gordyanchikov. It sounds, again, similar to this situation, you know? And I like Dostoevsky, and I'm interested in getting to this. Totally gives winter vibes, right? Siberia. Also sadness. Next, I think now we're moving more so on to the nonfiction. We have Educated by Tara Westover. This is a book that has gone around online a lot. It was super popular around the time, right around the time that it came out a few years ago. It's a memoir about Tara Westover's life. So she was raised in a family who, did they believe the end of the world was coming? Anyway, she didn't have a lot of rights and freedom. It was a really, an abusive family. I don't know if it was physically or emotionally. Don't quote me on that, but she had a rough childhood. She ended up growing up and getting herself educated and creating a life for herself and freedom for herself. This came back onto my radar because of the New York Times 100 Best Books of the Century lists that have been going out, and I keep getting the Reader's Choice confused with the original list they released, but whatever, I think they're all the same thing. This was on either one or both of those lists, and it has such high ratings on Goodreads. It sounds interesting. I'm in the mood for nonfiction, and that is why I got Educated. Okay, I finally got my hands on this book. Low-key, have been wanting to read it for a long time, but not aggressively enough to like really search it out and order it online. But I always told myself if I saw it in the bookstore, I'd pick it up, and I finally saw it in my local Barnes & Noble. It was stocked. Okay, we have Blue Nights by Joan Didion, which is about her talking about her life after her husband's passing and I believe her daughter's passing. Her role as a parent, she's thinking about dying, she's thinking about time passing, she's thinking about her life. And I, a few years ago, read The Year of Magical Thinking by Joan Didion, and I really liked it. That was her writing about her life after her husband's passing, so their relationship, their life, and it was really moving. She's a great writer, obviously, and I think the themes of motherhood that are going to be present in this interest me. Thinking about her life, being a woman, getting older, what it means to die. Yeah, so I cannot wait to read Blue Nights. Actually, I'm really, really excited about that one. Another book that I have been wanting to read for a long time, The Unabridged Journals of Sylvia Plath. I like so many young women nowadays, am very interested in Sylvia Plath and her life and her death. So these are obviously her journals. I think it will be very, very interesting to be inside of her mind. So I got the unabridged journals of Sylvia Plath. I think this will be a good time, an interesting time, an emotional time. The next book we have is another nonfiction. And this I bought because it was on Obama's summer reading list. That is Reading Genesis by Marilynne Robinson. So this, again, came to my attention because of Obama's summer reading list. I have read Gilead by, have I read Gilead? By Marilynne Robinson. I've read something by Marilynne Robinson. I think it was either Gilead or Home. I read Home by Marilynne Robinson, and I tried to read Housekeeping by Marilynne Robinson, and I did not care for them at all. I know she's, again, like a national treasure. Everyone loves Marilynne Robinson. She's like a future classic author, modern classic author, whatever. She writes a lot about faith. Her fiction did not work for me. It just really did not work for me, okay? There we go. I am interested to read her nonfiction, however. I think it would be interesting. So this is Marilynne Robinson thinking about the book of Genesis, obviously from the Bible, so the first book of the Bible, and her interpretation of it. And I know that she is someone who is a believer. Great, fantastic. I more so am interested in reading this because the stories in the Bible are so influential. So influential. I have read the Bible myself, and I really do think that it's a fantastic and almost necessary exercise if you are interested in analyzing literature today or throughout history, or just reading in general. It gives you so much context because there's so much references, or so many references in the history of literature, throughout the history of writing, to the Bible. I mean, it's like literally the most influential text ever. So I think that it's really fascinating. Specifically, the book of Genesis is one of the most interesting, if not, in my opinion, the most interesting story-wise in the Bible. So I think this will be a nice thing to read, to kind of hear someone else's interpretation of these stories, their relationship with it. So I'm curious to see how this goes. I'm just curious. So another book that's, again, in this theme, we have Svetlana Alexievich's Secondhand Time, The Last of the Soviets in Oral History. So this is another book that was on the New York Times best books, or 100 best books so far. It is nonfiction, and this is Svetlana Alexievich chronicling the demise of communism. Again, I just kind of want to learn. You know, I've heard nothing but good things about this book. I'm excited to learn about the chronology of Russian politics, because there's a lot going on, you know? There's just a lot going on, and I think learning the chronology, or learning where things have been, really teaches you a lot about why we are where we are now, and teaches you a lot about where we are now and why we are where we are now. I also got Just Mercy by Brian Stevenson, A Story of Justice and Redemption. This was another, I think this was also on the 100 best books of the 21st century list. I guess I've just been totally influenced. Maybe I saw it like on the table there at Barnes & Noble, unsure. But I bought this specifically because I had a client at work tell me about it, or was talking to me about it. And I thought, yeah, you know what? I heard a lot of people talking about that online a few years ago. The topic sounds interesting, difficult, but interesting. I want to read it. I have not seen the movie. I know that Michael B. Jordan. Yeah, I was right. Michael B. Jordan is the main character of this movie. But this is nonfiction, and this is about the prison system in the United States. Yeah, I think this will be something else to just educate myself about the world that I live in, the country that I live in. I forgot I got this. I forgot I got this next one, but I'm excited about it. We got Letters to Milena. I think that's how you pronounce her name. Letters to Milena by Franz Kafka. So this is nonfiction by Franz Kafka, and he's writing love letters. Well, it originally started as like a business relationship, but then it turned into like a romantic, emotional, intellectual affair, I think, with his Czech translator, Milena Jasenska. So they're like writing love letters to each other. Ooh, this sounds so interesting. Oh my gosh, a couple of years ago I read the love letters of, oh my gosh, it was called So Bright and Delicate, and it was John Keats, his love letters to his fiance, and he died super young. I think I have that correct. But those were fun to read too. That was like a short Penguin Classics edition. It was beautiful. I'd recommend picking it up if you're interested, if you just want like a beautiful, emotional, poetic love letters to each other, but also real. They felt like real and not trite. They didn't feel fake, right? I'm excited to read love letters from Franz Kafka to his love, to this woman that he loved. I think this is my last nonfiction I have to mention, but I got The Heartbeat of Wounded Knee, Native America from 1890 to the Present by David Truer. I live in the United States. I am an American, and I do not feel like we really learned much of anything about Native American history, our history with the land. That's weird, you know? I think that's really weird. I feel like all we really learned about it was, oh, we came here on the Mayflower, and then we made friends, and now we have Thanksgiving. Which is the stupidest thing ever. But I genuinely feel like that's all that I took away from that topic as a child. That's so weird. So as an adult, I feel like I need to remedy that. I saw this one online as recommended as a book to teach you about the history of this topic. Let me read the back to you, because I think this might be, okay. The long-held idea was that Native American life essentially ended with the U.S. Cavalry's 1890 massacre of more than 150 Sioux at Wounded Knee. Melding history with reportage and memoir, David Truer uncovers a different narrative in which the depredations of each era also spawned new modes of survival. The seizures of land gave rise to increasingly sophisticated legal and political maneuvering. The forced assimilation of children at government-run boarding schools incubated a unifying Native identity. Not despite, but rather because of American Indians' intense struggle to preserve their tribes, their cultures, and their very existence, the true story is that of a resilient people's unprecedented resourcefulness and reinvention. So this one was recommended online when I looked up books about this topic and about Native American history in the United States, and the political history surrounding that. Also a book called The Inconvenient Indian. I forget the name of the author, but I'll put a picture here, which just wasn't in stock at any Barnes and Nobles near me. And again, so I just decided to go with this one, but that one was recommended as well. All right, last but not least, we have this little bag here. And these are all fiction. And I'll start again on theme. We have One Day in the Life of Ivan Denisovich by Alexander Solzhenitsyn, which is his fictionalized, very short fictionalized account of a Russian soldier who's wrongly convicted. He's in a Siberian labor camp. And this is Alexander Solzhenitsyn's fictionalized, very short fictionalized account of one day in the life at a Siberian labor camp, which he was there himself for quite a while, I believe. I'm planning on picking this up after reading this, as well as, like I mentioned, the Communist Manifesto. In the madness of World War II, a dutiful Russian soldier is wrongly convicted of treason and sentenced to 10 years in a Siberian labor camp. So begins this masterpiece of modern Russian fiction, the harrowing account of a man who has conceded to all things evil with dignity and strength. So I'm really looking forward to getting to this after the Gulag Archipelago. Next we have The Lady's Paradise by Émile Zola, which is a French classic translated by Brian Nelson. And this is about the spectacular development of the modern department store in late 19th century Paris. So this I bought because of the World Tour Book Club that I'm sure a lot of people online are super familiar with, that Emma from Emmy is doing. Okay. I mentioned earlier in the year that I've been enjoying kind of following along with that if the books sound interesting, and this totally sounds interesting to me. I think this is going to be Great commentary on capitalism, on greed, on insecurity, and well, at least I'm hoping that it is. Octave Moret, the store's owner-manager, masterfully exploits the desires of his female customers. In his private life, too, he is the great seducer. But when he falls in love with the innocent Denise Badu, he discovers she is the only one of the salesgirls who refuses to be commodified. I think this sounds great. And last but not least for this haul, oh my gosh, I'm so excited to read this. We have The Will of the Many by James Islington, which is the first book in the Hierarchy series, trilogy, I'm not sure. Gosh, I have been wanting this book since it came out. I've heard nothing but good things about it. I just couldn't justify buying it for some reason, but now I had gift cards, so I went for it. And this is the perfect fall read. Oh my gosh, look at this. There's like a map. Oh my goodness gracious. Oof. Also, the Roman architecture. Oh my goodness. I just like literally cannot wait. This has gotten nothing but phenomenal reviews. I haven't read a fantasy book, like a fantasy series, in a long time. Like a really interesting, in-depth character study, political maneuverings type of, with a lot of lore, fantasy series, I feel like in a long time. I'm so excited for this one. I think it's based off of Roman mythology, and we follow our main character who's like pretending, he's like being a spy, right? So he's like in the inner circle of something. I don't know, I think he goes to like school, but he's trying to get revenge on the Republic, or like the rulers, for the death of his family. I forget, let's read it. At the elite Katanan Academy, a young fugitive uncovers layered mysteries and world-changing secrets in this new fantasy series by James Islington. The hierarchy may rule the world now, but they do not know everything. I tell them my name is Viz Telemus. I tell them that I was orphaned after a tragic accident 3 years ago, and that good fortune alone has led to my acceptance into their most prestigious schools. I tell them that once I graduate, I will gladly join the rest of civilized society in allowing my strength, my drive, and my focus, what they call will, to be leached away and added to the power of those above me, as millions already do, as all eventually must do. I tell them that I belong and they believe me, but the truth is that I have been sent to the academy to find answers, to solve a murder, to search for an ancient weapon, to uncover secrets that may tear the Republic apart. That fires me up. They're searching for a weapon, an ancient weapon? Yeah. And I will never cede my will to the empire that executed my family. Ooh, that sounds so interesting. He's solving a murder. He's looking for an ancient weapon. Ooh, I'm fired up about it. Can't wait to read this fall. So yeah, that is my book haul. I hope you guys enjoyed. Please let me know if you've read any of these books. I'd love to hear your thoughts. And I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Okay, goodbye.